This Straight Talk Wireless 500 2026 Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Rod should be joining us any moment here. He's really just trying to throw us off. They're coming at us. But welcome into the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Another great episode. Straight Talk Wireless 500. Save me, Rod. I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm definitely having trouble today. Just for those of you who don't know, I drive several hours for work, and today just so happened to be the day where a couple of big rigs decided they wanted to get into a wreck, block a bridge that cost us an hour and a half worth of traffic, just barely settling into the studios. But welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and we are here, as Cody said, for the Straight Talk Wireless 500 from the Phoenix Raceway. Tommy Lipschitz saying that I have Rod hostage. You most certainly do, my friend. Somebody needs to release me, because I'm guaranteeing you right now today has been just one of those days.
Yeah, probably gave everybody on the podcast a heart attack. They're like, oh, no, it's one of the solo Cody shows. Here we go. But not to worry. Rod is here.
Oh, thank God. Well, not thank God that you can handle
that's what everybody's saying. Thank God. I'm saying it too.
I'm saying thank God that I was able to make it to this episode. But yes, thank you all for joining us for this Straight Talk Wireless 500. This is, man, we've had some great races, and we now go to a mile track. We have not been to a mile and a half track that hasn't been a super speedway or a super speedway package yet. And we still won't, because we're on the short track of Phoenix, which has offered us some really good racing in the past.
Yeah, it absolutely has. And it's funny because, you start to see all of the overreactions. Like, oh my God, is Tyler Reddick going to win the championship? Like, he's already locked in. Everything's great, right? Alex Bowman, we got to freak out. He's dead last in points. And Chase Elliott fans are coming after Alan Gustafson again. And it's like, everybody take a breath, slow down. 2 super speedways, right? That's what we've had so far, and a road course. We haven't even gotten to the traditional NASCAR tracks yet, which we will over these next couple of weeks, right? So Phoenix this week, Vegas next week. After Vegas next week, that's when we can kind of say, okay, we've got a good body of work here now. Start to kind of see where some things are at. Now, that's not to say I'm going to use momentum in some of my picks coming up today in one matchup in particular, because I think that it does count for something, and I think getting off to a good start certainly matters. Look at Tyler Reddick. It has mattered, right? But don't make your final predictions for the season just based on what we've seen already, because we really don't know, right? We have no idea what the new Chevy body is going to look like when we get to a mile and a half, where it's like next week at Vegas is going to be a big question answered for how good that is or how bad that is. whereas we haven't really seen that yet, just because, we got to see what it looked like on a drafting track, fine, and it was okay, but, then a road course, we haven't really got to see yet. So excited for kind of our first short track of the week at Phoenix, and I think it's going to be a good race.
I agree. It will be a good race. Let's check in with the chat real quick. But first, you know what? I want to tell you real quick. We've got a lot of great stuff going on the network. And of course, March Madness is a gigantic part of this time of year. The college games are going on. So let's kick it off with merch. March is here. SGPN is giving away for Madness. That is the winner take all. One person is going to take home the $25,000 guaranteed prize. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Survivor. SportsGamblingPodcast/Survivor. If you're new to Splash, use promo code SGPN. You can play $5. You get $50 in bonus entries. Make sure you enter that, because I guarantee you right now you want that $25,000. Everybody wants that $25. And guess what? Just like everything else on this network, it is free.
That's one of my favorite things about SGP Network. That's why one of the reasons I was a fan before I became, the podcaster and everything with them, a personality, if you will, I guess. But that's why I was just a fan of SGP before. It's all free stuff, free content, free contests, all the stuff. I love it here.
Indeed. Cousin Danny checking in saying SVG. Man, there's such a huge fandom over there of SVG over there in the Discord. So you might make sure to get over there. Marcus checking in saying hi, everyone. And then Cousin Danny says Marcus, who you predict will win on Sunday. Marcus says he wants to know everybody's prediction. But his prediction, Cody, is somebody we'll be talking about later on as well. Another Chris prediction.
Yeah, I think Marcus is going to be pretty happy with this episode, Rod. I'll say that.
Indeed. Fitted Jones saying, let's go. Victory lane for life. Talking about Blaney will win, but would love to see Briscoe. The books are still not respecting him.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, my friend.
King 601 saying, thinking of hard who to play this weekend. Trying to go for 4 for 4 in top 5. My 1 and 2.
Yeah. King's been killing it over in the 1 and done pool for sure. 3 for 3 on the top 5. So speaking of car lifts, which Tommy Lipschitz brings up, the car lift this week is going to be my 1 and done play as well. So take that if you will, King. But I really, really like one guy in particular this week.
And you really, really like one guy in particular this week. Slow Roll asking me, Rod, for old time's sake, say 3 avocados for 99 cents. You got to go in the Discord if you want the backstory on that one for sure. Needless to say, I did a lot of crazy fun things in my youth, and selling 3 avocados for 99 cents was among those as well.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody does have to do it. But all right, Cody, is there any news to get to? Like I said, I literally just walked through the door, so I haven't been able to keep up on what's going on. Tell me what's happening in the NASCAR world.
Well, main things. First of all, it is 3-3 today, so let's do it for Dale today, because that's it's Dale Day. So do it for Dale. That's right. We'll hold up the 3 on the 3rd minute of the show, which was 5 minutes ago. But that's okay. Anyways, lawsuit news. Sort of a mixed bag, I guess, kind of coming out of the courtroom on Monday. There was that hearing for the temporary injunction. I don't really fully understand what happened there. They ruled that Gabehart can't work for Spire in the capacity that he worked for JGR. Okay, fine. So I guess don't be the competition director, but how about we just name him the janitor and he gives us all the secrets while he's janitoring, I guess. I don't like, and he's already got a different title. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, he's not the competition director. He's the director of competitive titions. Like, it's totally different. I don't know, I guess. His roles and responsibilities have to be different, I guess. I don't know. So it sounds like Gabehart's free to do whatever he wants to, I guess.
That's like when they say, I am not Rod, and then you just put tape around my glasses or whatever, take the glasses off. You'd be like, now I am Todd. Like, that's, dude, we still know you're Rod, man. Like, yeah,
it's a little glasses and the mustache. Like, I'm not Cody. I'm Kodai, obviously.
Call me Chris Gabe Hurt. That's my name.
Yeah. So I don't I haven't actually heard much in depth from anybody kind of in the know, but sounds to me like don't be in the same position. Okay, he's in a different position, so whatever. He's claimed that he has the info but does not share it with Spire, which is sort of another interesting thing, I guess, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to believe any of that. No, I forgot it all. No, that's what happened. I woke up in the morning and I was like, no, I don't remember anything.
And again, it's like obviously he he's going to remember things. So I guess don't share the pictures with them. But if you remember the setup, you could share. I don't know. To me, the whole thing is kind of interesting and weird, but is what it is, I guess. So that's where we're at with that. I don't even know where the next step in all that is, but I believe the judge is continuing to urge them to seek a settlement, which we've seen how that worked before, and we didn't get a settlement. So,
you know what this is like? So the big lawsuit of the offseason, right, was the 2311 lawsuit, the front row lawsuit. That was the major headline getter, right? This is the one that's trying to be like the show that's trying to copy off of that and try to make same amount of headlines off of that, going, oh, hey, if that was a blockbuster, this is going to be a blockbuster. And they're like, nah, this really isn't anything good. So let's keep this under the table and let's just kind of make it go away.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one other little small piece of news, Ross Chastain's crew members, the Jackman and rear changer, are suspended for 2 races. Obviously, he lost that wheel at Coda. So as of now, they're suspended for this week and next week. They obviously can take that optional, we'll delay it a week or whatever if they want to. So we'll see, because you've got Vegas and Darlington coming up. I would assume you'd want them for Darlington, so you probably are taking it this week, but who knows? They might have some type of appeal or delay there, but I would guess they'll just be suspended this week and next.
Yeah, that was unfortunate too, because not only did that ruin our day when we took Ross Chastain in a couple of bets, but it definitely ruined his day. And it'll be tough to overcome next week, but yeah, I think anybody can do it. The one car can do it. All right, well, if that's it for news, let's step away for just a hot second, and then when we come back, we'll start setting up at Phoenix. But before we do, I would like to tell you about our friends formerly over at Kalshi. Kalshi is a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. Kalshi's got a ton of trading options for your favorite sports. Besides sports, they got a ton of other markets, including politics, entertainment, hell. You can even trade on the weather with Kalshi. You could trade on just about anything in the world. I'm going to keep beating this drum because you guys are going to keep jumping on this market and make it go in your favor. How about, will the U.S. confirm that aliens exist before 2027? I say yes, and that is a 23-cent investment. That free $20 that we're going to give you, you do that and you invested in that, you'll get $87 once aliens are confirmed to exist, or just kind of let the market go down and then swoop on it as it gets lower, but or sell it as it gets, I don't know, whatever you want to do with it. It's all you. New Kalshi customers, like I said, get that $20 when they use promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Buddies at Rhythm have been on a heater for college and NBA picks. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own. Play with the sliders. Rhythm also works really well with Kalshi. Also, looking to go premium, use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm, use promo code SGPN25. I really do hope that we do get this alien announcement sooner rather than later. Not just for my Kalshi investment on them, because, I got in at 13 cents and now it's 23 cents, but just for the simple fact that I want them to make things a lot easier for us. Share with us your technology so that we don't have to suffer nearly as much.
It came up in the Discord and I was kind of curious the answer. As you're sitting there watching the aliens invade us and you've now realized that you've won, are you hoping the Kalshi payout hits the wallet so you have time to spend it quick, or are you just going to enjoy the fact that you were right?
Well, the government's just got to announce it, right? That's all they got to do.
Yeah,
if the aliens come, the money should already be.
If they don't announce it, the aliens might announce it themselves, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's true. But that means the
like,
U.S.
Fuck, you guys aren't going to do it? Fine.
Yeah, that'll be no,
true,
though, right?
The U.S. won't be
saying
saying it. The intricacies of the rules here.
The predictions market. Yes, indeed. All right. It's not tough to predict how much fun we're going to have watching this Straight Talk Wireless 500 from the Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. We are set for 312 laps around this 1 mile paved track for, you guessed it, 312 miles. Cody, There'll be dog leg racing. There'll be 16 wide. All right, maybe not, but there'll be a lot of fanning out on this and a lot of fun to watch.
They might get that wide at points because, yeah, it does really fan out a lot, as they go down into that dog leg. And you know, Atlanta, Daytona, you're not allowed to go into the WO. Yeah, that's not a rule at Phoenix. They will cut it completely down there like crazy. You won't see that in the IndyCar race on Saturday, I don't think, because I'm pretty sure that would destroy those cars. But you will certainly see it from the O'Reilly and Cup Series. So, but it does kind of make for an exciting racing and exciting, especially the restarts and start of the race where they do fan out, get crazy, and you see a bunch of action. So, yeah, it makes it exciting.
Indeed. All right. Well, then the entry list, pretty much the way it is. I'm not really too many huge surprises on the entry list for sure.
Yep.
All
you
your
got one open car, and it's Austin Hill in the 33 for RCR, and that's it. Otherwise, it's your regular 36.
I forgot. Do we not like him anymore, or do we like him, or not like him? But do we just? Did he
depends
move
on
the
the
needle to
day.
neutral?
I don't know. I think we are neutral because
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see if we're betting on him tomorrow or not, and I think that'll decide.
I can't. Yeah, the needle moved to neutral.
I'm guessing. I haven't looked ahead, but I don't think he's made either of our cup cards for probably good reason. But yeah, if he if he ends up on the O'Reilly card, then we might like him this week.
All right. Well, then, speaking of the cup card, Cody, we should just jump right into that and start laying out our bets.
Let's jump right into it. I love it, Rod. I'm going to start with a couple of head-to-heads that I really like. The first one, over on the score, you can get Bubba Wallace over Alex Bowman, -115. Talk about momentum. Bubba Wallace has all of it, right? He's been on fire, open the season. He's second in points, and it's been an amazing start. If it wasn't for his teammate overshadowing everything, right, we'd be like, wow, what a start Bubba's had. So that's been great. And for Bowman, it's not been great. It's been horrible. And just to look at it, Daytona 10th for Bubba, 40th for Alex Bowman. Then at Atlanta, 8th for Bubba Wallace, 23rd for Alex Bowman. Last week at Coda, 11th to 36th. So definitely a big difference in the starts. Now, does that translate directly into Phoenix this week? No, it doesn't. Of course not, right? But you look at their head-to-heads, they're pretty similar here for the most part. I will give Bowman credit. He's won both races last year. He got the head-to-head over Bubba. Bubba had a couple of uncharacteristically bad races, 37th in the fall, 29th in the spring. Just bad days. But prior to that, very good. If you go back over the last 7 races, 4 of 7, Bubba's beat Bowman. So again, it's close, but goes towards Bubba a little bit more there. This is Bowman's home track, but he has specifically been not very good here. Now, it's kind of weird. I don't know that we ever really heard, and I've not heard any updates on what happened with Bowman last week. His seemed to be something different than just heat exhaustion. Or maybe it was, and it just got to a crazy point. So I don't know if there was something going on, if something's still lingering, if he's physically okay. Like I've not seen or heard anything about it. So I don't know on that. The slow start for him and Bubba Wallace just being on fire to start. If you throw out the last year's 2 results here, 7th place in the fall of 24, 16th in the spring, 23, a 10th and a 14th place finish. So pretty good runs here for Bubba Wallace. Love the way they ended the season last year, kind of on a hot streak, starting it out very nicely. I think over there at 23-11, you can, well, maybe not Riley Herbst, but for the other 2 guys, kind of relax, right? Take a deep breath. We're living good. Like, Alex Bowman, he's going to have to be on the freaking chip the entire time. I got to go get everything I can. And I don't love that mentality from him because he's already got to be looking up, right? And we're not the only ones that have said it for a long time. Like, he's the guy that's always, and he always is, because you're that last guy at Hendrick that's not, just doesn't live up to the other 3. He's always going to be on the hot seat. And with guys like Hocevar out there, or, if it's Day or Carruth that they're kind of grooming to maybe be those next guys, he's always going to be looking over his shoulder. I don't want to have money on him with that. So give me Bubba Wallace over Alex Bowman, -115. That's over on the score. Then over on DraftKings, you can get Tyler Reddick +125 to Kyle Larson. So this one, from a statistical aspect, goes in Kyle Larson's favor. I will say that right off the bat. That's why he's the heavy favorite here. But if you look at how they've opened the season, let's see. Has Tyler Reddick lost to Kyle Larson? He's been first in all 3 races. So I guess he's won the head-to-head in all 3. It's not been as good for Larson, right? So there is that. But then if you look at what Reddick's done here, so specifically, I want to kind of bring attention to this has been previously. Now it's not anymore because Homestead's now the last race and not really the quote unquote championship race because, I mean, it is, but different than what it has been with the Final Four and all that. But Phoenix Fall race had been the championship race, the Final Four race. So I think you have to discount that race a little bit when you're looking at the spring race. So if you go back and specifically look at Tyler Reddick in the spring, he's been very good here. He was second place last year to Christopher Bell in driver rating. He had the best true performance last year in the spring at 82.78 for our friends over there at Win the Race. Second to William Byron in average running position last spring. Ran in the top 10 89.76% of the time. Number one driver for that. So I guess actually, yeah, so he ran well, but the finish wasn't there, right? 20th place finish. But like I said, he was second and fifth in the stages. And then Ryan over at iFantasy Race kind of pointed out exactly that and how he sort of had a bad day in the spring, a misleading result. Performance-wise, top 5 contender, as I just laid out, but the race wasn't incident-free. Started 9th, finished second in stage 1, finished 5th in stage 2, and then he had lost power steering late, running in 3rd place when he pitted, burned by a caution, so on and so forth. So bad result, but he'd been running good here. But overall, I've got more stats that I'll kind of dive into on another bet for Reddick here in a little bit. But he's been really good here, particularly in the spring. And he's been a guy we've noted in the fall when if he's not in the championship 4, which he hadn't been most years, he kind of just gives up and goes on vacation early. So looking at the spring results, looking at the momentum coming into this, all of that stuff, while all the other statistics would say Larson, I'm going to take Reddick at the big plus money. Plus 125 is a great number for two guys that are fairly close if you compare the spring statistics. So give me Reddick over Larson plus 125 over on DraftKings.
Yeah, and as far as Reddick is concerned, yeah, there's nobody hotter right now, and I think riding that momentum would be 1,000% beneficial. And Kyle Larson just doesn't look like he's had it at all. So yeah, we're fading a couple of Hendrick Motorsports guys. What a time to be alive! This is a very interesting time in this world. All right, my head-to-head is also at plus money. I'm going to take KFB. The F is back, baby. Over Brad Keselowski. This is plus 100. I don't know. For those folks who celebrate Kyle Busch.
He fucked us with Christopher Buescher last week? Sure, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's what happens. See, that's where the F comes back. But no, listen, this one is mainly because if you watched Brad Keselowski walk out of the car last time, he looked like he might as well have just been in a retirement home with that cane. Like, I don't know how.
Pimp. Like, just watching him after the race, just walk down pit road with his cane. Like, just like, pull that clip and show it to your grandkids in 20 years. They'll be like, look at this badass. Like, gets out of the race car and just walks with a cane down his. Oh, it was great.
I swear he just needed the fish tank or the fish tank platform shoes to complete the ensemble. But yeah, but I'm going to take Kyle Busch over Brad Keselowski. And the numbers back this up too in terms of the average finishing positions overall for Kyle Busch. 12.9 on this track in the next gen era. Brad Keselowski, 18.1. And I mean, that doesn't even tell the entire picture. Like last year, Brad Keselowski finished second on this track in the fall. But again, like Cody said, a lot of times this was toward the end of it anyways. And I don't know, Brad Keselowski wasn't racing for much, and yeah, he did it. But before that, 33rd, 15th, a 4th place finish. Cool. 15th, 18th, 35th, 23rd. Nothing in that instills any sort of confidence in him finishing well on this track. Kyle Busch, on the other hand, 8th or 5th last fall, 8th in the spring, 21st, 22nd, 25th. That was a really rocky go of it, right? This is the RCR era, the getting feet wear era, but 8th, 7th, 7th before that, as part of Joe Gibbs Racing as well. So still pretty good on this track. And we know Kyle Busch is going to be on a quest again this season. We saw how pissed off he was last week at not being able to get around his buddy, Jesse Love, and punting him and ruining stuff. But I know Rowdy's going to be pretty happy about everything going on. But I mean, listen, overall, Kyle Busch in 2 road courses, or 1 road course and 2 super speedways. He finished 12th still at COTA last week. And despite all of the shenanigans that happened as well, 12th, and he still finished better than Brad Keselowski. I know it's a road course, but even still, the head-to-head was there, and Kyle Busch got there. And Yeah, to me, I'm just giving the nod to Kyle Busch, who's not injured, over Brad Keselowski, who, this is a mile track, and you saw how he did with having to brake and a ton of braking last week. He got out looking like he can't even walk. So that can't still be good this week, where Kyle Busch, fully healthy, may not be the most at the high point of his career, but I'll take a full healthy Kyle Busch over Brad Keselowski this week, especially at even money.
Yeah, I looked at this matchup. I don't know. I sort of kind of like Brad a little bit this week. I couldn't find a way to bet on him, but he's been solid here. But so is Kyle. So it's a tough matchup. I would say the way that Keselowski performed last week, and we didn't even think he was going to run the race, actually pretty good. I mean, he's not good at road courses, well noted, but ended up with, I think, a top 20 finish. So was a good day for him, comparatively speaking. But yeah, I don't hate it, especially because you're getting it at the even money. So I'll ride with you on it, but no real true opinion on this one.
That's okay. Like I said, I just want the healthy guy over the broke guy. All right, what do we got next?
Some would argue Kyle Busch is a broke guy, Rod, but
that's true too.
Somebody who I hope is not broken. Chris Buescher, top 10 plus. You can get this one at plus 135 over on DraftKings. Look, I know he burned us last week. This was if you could take one bet, this is the bet to take. Of course, that backfired on me, sadly, but it wasn't his fault, right? It was Kyle Busch's fault because he decided to shove Love and Love shoved Buescher, and that's how it goes. So, but if you look back over the last 6 races since 2023 here at Phoenix, Buescher has the 3rd best average finish of active drivers. That is pretty solid. 8.0 is that average finish. A 12th place finish here in the fall, the only not top 10 in the last few races. He was 5th here in the spring, 9th here in the fall of 24, 2nd in the spring of 24, 5th here in the fall of 23. He won it. So, kind of bigger picture, right? What are the comp tracks to Phoenix? Other tracks you can look at and pull stats from. I used our buddy Ryan over at iFantasy Race to kind of help back me up on this. He says Richmond. He says Iowa. He says Gateway. In New Hampshire, of course, is the other one. So those are kind of some good comp tracks. But Buescher won at Richmond in 2023, had a 3rd place there in 2022, a 9th place even in 2024. So some good solid top 10s there. And a 9th place finish as well at Gateway last year. So he can get it done. He's a reliable guy. Yeah, I know it sucked last week because he got dumped, but he was running fine before that. It wasn't flashy, but he was going to end up top 10 at the end of the day. Fully believe that. I think we'll get revenge this week. Top 10 plus 135. And then his teammate, Ryan Preece, top 10 plus 400 over on Bet365. Absolutely love Ryan Preece here. His average running position last spring, 10.68. So right on the border of that. Top 5, 28% of the time. Of course, those stats, again, via win the race last spring. So, yeah, pretty solid. Ended up 15th here in the spring race, but 9th place in the fall. So you like to see that. Did lead 34 laps in the spring, so got up front. Also, one quick note, too. Last spring was the option tire race. They're not doing the option tire again this year. So I guess there's some stuff where you can say, well, maybe that was the option tire. So I guess be careful as you navigate through that, right? But in a general sense, still, that's all we have to look at for him as far as RFK because he's only been there for one season, right? So, but even that being said, he finished top 4 here in our top 15, rather, in 4 of the last 6 here. So even a couple of the races with SHR, got it done. Top 14 in the last 2 at New Hampshire. So again, sniffing close to that top 10 area. 5th place run at Richmond in 2023 in the SHR equipment. He was 13th at Gateway last year, 5th at Iowa last year. So, and again, we think of him as short, flat guy. He won Bowman Gray, right? Yeah, there was some weather, some other stuff involved in that. This track is literally 4 times the size, but the short, flat aspect of it, I think Ryan Preece a good top 10 bet at plus 400 over on Bet365.
Looks like it's an RFK weekend for sure for you. So hopefully that comes to fruition. Again, I'll still take the RFK car that's going to finish worse than the RCR car. But
that's the one
this
RFK
next driver
give out. So
that's true. That's true. All right, I'm going to take Ross Chastain. If he can keep all 4 wheels on his car, then I think he's in line for a top 10 finish. This is plus 140 over there on Bet365. Our good friends over at Win the Race, which, by the way, if you have not signed up for Win the Race yet, you need to. WinTheRace.info. So much fantastic knowledge over there. So many. You can have the simulated race. That's 1,000 or 100,000 simulated races, and they give you the percentages off of that. definitely P1 analytics and someplace where we definitely go. One of my first bookmarks when I'm handicapping races. But our good friends over at Win the Race have Ross Chastain as a 40.2% top 10 finisher in those 100,000. Just under half of the time he's getting inside of the top 10. But they got the fair market value for this set at plus 148, which means plus 140 is a good price for him to finish inside of the top 10. Ross Chastain overall on this track is the third highest average finisher in Phoenix, believe it or not. Behind Blaney and Larson, it's Ross Chastain. This, of course, thanks to our friends over at iFantasy Race, because Ryan has got this nice little heat chart that makes it easier for me to just kind of sit here and look at it. But over the last 3 races, 13th, 11th, 19th. Before that, 6th. He won this race. 24th in the spring of 2023, but 2nd and 3rd in the spring and fall of 2022. So he has been inside of the top 10 4 out of the first 5 races in the next-gen era. Unfortunately, he's missed it the last 3. I still think he can get there again because we've seen how well this Trackhouse team has performed. I know, slow the roll. It's two super speed races in a road course race, but even still, Chastain has looked racy. He's looked like he's back to his aggressive self, but not aggressive self, and he looks like he's been able to sort of take that one car, good things with it. And I just feel like he's on the cusp of another top 10 finish. He's on the cusp of another good run. Plus 140 obviously is a fair price for our friends over at iFantasy or our friends that Win the Race. So I'm going to trust them on that one and roll with them. Ross Chastain, top 10.
Yeah, I don't have much of an argument with this one. Missing those picker members, it's notable, but I don't think it can make you not take the bet. So, yeah, I'll roll with you.
Indeed. TK asking, should we wait until Trackhouse qualifies badly before betting on Ross with different odds? I don't know that you're going to get much different.
Do they qualify? I guess I haven't looked at their qualifying in particular. Do they qualify badly here? If you think that's going to be the case, you could hold out. But if he starts well, you could lose. That's always the delicate balance, right? Of what to take pre-practice and qualifying, what to take post-practice and qualifying is finding that delicate balance of stuff. I'd say, this number is pretty decent, but
yeah, I mean, look, Ross Chastain has qualified 13th, 24th, 3rd, 12th, 8th, 6th. So, I mean, I'm not really sure you're going to, it's a mixed bag. Yeah. I don't think you're going to get much better odds. So, all right. Let's come back with more bets, but I would like to tell you first about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's got you covered to pick them for almost every single sport under the sun. Underdog has just increased their payouts. 2 pick entries, now 3.5x, and 3 pick entries, 6.5x. Looking right now at the NHL, my favorite Colorado Avalanche taking on the Anaheim. Well, they're not mighty anymore, but just the Anaheim Ducks. I'm going to take Nathan McKinnon's shots on goal higher than 4.5. Let me tell you what he's been shooting lately. He's been shooting everything. Like, that dude gets puck, shoots puck. It doesn't even matter anymore. 8 shots on goal against the Kings last night, 6 against the Blackhawks, 8 against Minnesota, 4 against San Jose. So he is shooting the puck with a lot of authority lately. He has blasted past the 4.5 mark. So give me higher than 4.5 shots on goal for Nathan McKinnon tonight against the Ducks. And if you're a new customer, Underdog's got a brand new offer for you. Play just $5, get $75 in bonus funds. Code RAGPN. Novig is America. With Novig, you are getting the absolute best prices out there in the entire world. And of course, you know me, I love to go all kinds of crazy deep markets, but Novig has also got stuff for you if you are an actual just normal fan of normal sports like some people tend to do. How about that same game that we were talking about with the Ducks and Colorado? You can get Colorado minus 1.5. You could actually get them or plus 1.5. Actually, they're the underdogs at minus 374. How about minus 1.5 at plus 167? I like that better. So let's take the Colorado Avalanche minus 1.5 plus 167 over the Ducks over there on Novig. Download the Novig app. Get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig promo code SGPN. 15% off of everything right now in the merch store because of March Madness. The Merch Madness is what we tend to call it. You can have anything on that screen. The Let It Ride shirts. You can have the first half unders hoodies. You can get the Let It Ride hats, or you can get your favorite Racing Gambling Podcast merchandise, a la that coffee mug that I love to use each and every morning. You can get a hoodie if you want, some Gambling Podcast hoodie, and have people ask, what's that? And then you can tell them all about us and how much fun we have talking NASCAR with you. Make sure you go use that promo code MARCH for 15% off of all of your order. I really do enjoy that coffee mug each and every morning, Cody. It reminds me of how awesome it is to do this show with you.
Sounds great to me, Rob.
Does it though? You sound convinced, my friend.
Did I? I sold it.
You sold it. You just like the coffee mug. All right, fine. Sell your next picks then.
All right, I will. I'll do my best to sell my next picks. These are some longer shots. It's not for everybody, so it's not for the faint of heart, Rod. But yeah, look, how do you not keep betting on Zane Smith, right? He cashed for us 2 weeks ago, the big one with the top Ford. He's looking decent last week. Got taken out, unfortunately, and that's how it goes. But we're gonna run it back. Zane Smith, he can get his top 10 at 10-1 over on Bet 365. You look at the overall picture. He's only been in this series for a couple of years. All the numbers aren't great, but I'm going to cling to a couple of things. One, he finished 9th place here last spring. Yes, there was the option tire, whatever. This might have played into it, but he got it done in his first year with Front Row in the spring race in particular, so I like that. He also had an 11th place finish at Richmond. So multiple tracks of the same style, got it done. And again, it's such a delicate balance of, looking at guys, what they've done to open the season because of the tracks it is. But you look at a guy like Smith, he's been performing well. Again, pressure's a little bit off. Like, just go out there, hit your marks. He's a good race car driver. He's a good up-and-coming prospect. He was good here in the Truck Series, won his championship here, of course, a couple of years ago in the fall as well. So Zane Smith at 10-1, this guy, because I think he brings us a lot of value. And, he's certainly going to be on the card next week because it's a mile and a half where he was really good last year. So going to take him. Then going to really step out on a limb a little bit here, Rod, with Tyrone Dillon. We're going to take him for a top 10. I wanted to let it out there. People thought I was going to say Gibbs. Nope, Ty Dillon this time, friends. 18-1 on DraftKings for a top 10. Now, look, it's a long shot, right? And for a reason, I get that. But you look at Ty Dillon. Let's go back to last spring. Now, the option tire played into this big time. Late, he's the only guy left that had the option tire. He actually almost won this race, ended up spinning out, and it got to be too much. It's one of those things where it's like, holy shit, I'm going to win, and then you kind of fuck up, and that's how it goes. But still managed a 16th place finish after all of that chaos and craziness. A 16th place finish. Okay, yes, but it was option tire, this, that. Fine, I get your point, right? So let's look back farther, and particularly for Dillon, for whatever reason, probably because it's early in the season, people are still figuring stuff out. He's a veteran race car driver. Don't forget that, right? In the spring race, he's been good here. 15th place in 2022 in the spring race. So, yeah, it's a couple years ago. First year of the next-gen car. Okay, fine, I get it, right? But, hey, within 5 spots, 18-1, twice now, with 16th to 15th the last couple springs. Okay. Did you go back to the old car with Germain Racing in that 13 car? He finished 15th here in the spring of 2020 in the Germain Racing car. That was the Rick Ware Racing car on opposite of steroids. Like, it was that much worse, right? It was bad. But then he also did it in 2019 with the Germain car. He finished in 15th again. So he's been good here. Top 16 in 4 of his 8 Germain Racing starts here. He actually started a race in the SHR 14 car. I don't remember. Maybe Tony Stewart must have missed a race. I don't know what that was about, or if that, I guess, I don't remember. I have to go back and look. I think it was 2016. So maybe that was post Tony Stewart, before. I'd have to go back and figure that out. But he made a start here and he finished, guess what? Like 16th or 15th or whatever it was. So he's been a guy that is at least sniffing around the top 10, right? No top 10s in there. I get that. But he's putting himself kind of in good position. These call-in cars, as the season goes on, we're going to be able to trust them less, I think. And specifically, we start to get bigger tracks next week at Vegas. You don't really know what you're going to get out of them because of this Ram deal. But at a shorter track like this, still early in the season, everybody's kind of getting their feet out under them, all that stuff. Dillon just goes out and kind of does his thing. Well, doing his thing has ended up really good quite a few years, right? So maybe he can do it again this year. At 18-1, I'll paint the long shot picture. So Ty Dillon, 18-1, top 10 over on DraftKings, and Zane Smith, top 10 at 10-1 over on Bet365.
I've seen crazier things happen in my day for sure. All you fan out in the dog leg and everybody decides to take each other out, and you got a guy like Ty Dillon slipping through and making sure he can have a good day. So not bad at all. All right. I had this in the doc before I saw the odds. I still like the odds. I don't care. I'm taking William Byron, top 5, plus 150. I actually thought this was going to be closer to a minus money proposition for this, but William Byron, top 5, plus 150. If you look at William Byron, over the course of the next gen era, he's got an 11.1 average finish here. This is a little bit of a longer stretch to make because last fall he finished 33rd. Before that, 6th place. In the fall of 2024, he finished in 3rd place, 18th, 4th, 1st, 6th, 18th. A lot of all over the place for William Byron in terms of where he's been at average wise. But look, we've seen this over the beginning of the season for William Byron. He was actually doing really well last week before he got shuffled out of the mix. And to me, this is one of those situations where he's going to run well here because he usually does run toward the front. And I'm going to kind of take a shot on him finishing in the top 5. Our friends over at Win the Race have him at 56.4% of that 100,000 races that he's finished inside of the top 5. And they have the fair market value at minus 129, which tells me that plus 150 is a bargain price for William Byron as a top 5 car. Because like I said, that's kind of where I was expecting. I was expecting a minus 110. Excuse me. I was expecting maybe a plus money, plus 100. But to get it at plus 150, almost 2-1 for a guy who's finishing in the simulations just over half the time inside of the top 5. Absolutely love that price. Like I said, he hasn't done it every single time, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here that he can get it done this time. So give me William Byron, top 5, plus 150.
Yeah, he's been pretty good here. I'll definitely give you that, Rod. So I'm going to move over to the top manufacturer market. So I know you just made the case for Byron. Top Chevy is kind of an interesting market to me this week because this is a guy I wanted to get in on, of course, because I like to bet on him. The top 10's plus 160. Could consider it, but I think maybe we're going to shoot more for the moon and hope for a top Chevy day. I'm not convinced on Larson this week. The Larson thing is very interesting, right? Because he's the reigning champion. Like, he got it done. He was the best of the championship 4 cars here in the fall, but wasn't really impressive in that race. But he's been really good here throughout the time. But he's also not really been that impressive since the Indy 500 incident. Like, yeah, he won the championship, so you have to give him his flowers for that, but he hasn't won any races. He hasn't been overly impressive just in a general sense. Byron's been good. For whatever reason, I never find myself on him. But outside of that, like, Chevy's just kind of, I don't know. You can make some cases for guys like Elliott to be good or whatever. But my guy, Rod Carson Hocevar, you can make a case for him. Top Chevy at 14-1. So obviously Larson should finish ahead of him. Byron should finish ahead of him. Tire comes off. This problem, that problem, whatever. All the things that can go wrong. There is that, but if Hocevar puts down a great day, which we know he's capable of doing, I think there's a world where he could be the top Chevy, and that's what I'm looking for. And if you go back and you look, okay, well, what's he done? The 2 races here weren't great, so I'll give you that. But 11th place in New Hampshire, similar track. 15th at Gateway, similar track. 15th at Richmond, similar track. 8th place at Iowa. So we saw some flashes of he can hold his own. He can do good. Go back to the Clash again, put little stock in that, but a shorter, flatter track. He was up there mixing it up with the big boys. That's what I want from this guy. I want to root for it, so I'm going to root for it. And 14-1, because so the way that I'm looking at this, and this is why I don't want the top 10. There's some inconsistencies. I don't think he has a top 10 at Phoenix yet that I noticed when I was looking through the stuff. So can't rely on that at such a short number, but at a bigger number, if he does go out and have a day, and maybe Larson isn't that impressive, maybe Byron has a problem, suddenly it's wide open, he could get it done. He could be there at 14-1. I think the number is good. Top Ford market. Love Ryan Blaney this week. Top Ford plus 115 over on DraftKings. He's going to be the best Ford car. I think it's probably not even going to be close because he's amazing. I'll save some of the stats because you're going to have another bet on him in a little bit, and you can read them all off. But if you go to Win the Race, you filter out all the short tracks. Ryan Blaney's name is at the top of every single statistic, every single category. It's not even close. Second best average finish here. Only two. William Byron, of course. He's been top 5 in 8 of the last 9 races here at Phoenix. You tell me the top Ford is going to be top 5, like top 5 could easily cash top Ford. This also opens up the world for William Byron wins, Kyle Larson wins, Christopher Bell wins, Denny Hamlin wins, Chase Briscoe wins. Maybe he's just outside the top 5, even though 8 of the last 9 times, that's going back to the old car, he's been inside the top 5. Really, really good here. So we're going to play him. And then we'll take a little bit of an insurance play as well. He's obviously the chalk favorite guy, but I like it even at plus 115. Minus money on some books. Again, shop around. Ryan Preece, though, top Ford, 25-1. I already made the case for him earlier with the top 10 bet. But at 25-1, if he puts it all together and he shows up, okay, I think he could get it done right. Maybe Blaney has an issue. So, yeah, and you know, Rowdy Nation brings up Logano. Yeah, Logano's had some good runs here for sure, but it's not always – Logano's just so inconsistent. You don't know when he's going to show up. I don't want to dismiss him. I'm not going to bet on him. But I think it's going to be the Blaney show in the Ford camp. And if it's not, maybe Ryan Preece sneaks up. He's the type of guy that could put together a really strong day, steal it from him. So I'm good going all in on Blaney because I really feel like his only true competition probably is Joey Logano, and give me the Blaney side every time, really. And you know, outside of that, Buescher could have a good day. Preece could maybe, and it's worth a shot, the long one. But yeah, JDK's already bet it, so we'll roll with him as well. So yeah, give me Hocevar, top Chevy at 14-1. Ryan Blaney, top Ford at plus 115. And Ryan Preece, top Ford at 25-1.
I love at least 2 of those. You guys can decide which 2 I actually like. But
obviously the Hocevar one, and then probably the Blaney one, but it could be Preece. Who knows?
Well, it's definitely the Blaney one. Like you said, I've got more to say about him in a couple of minutes, in a couple of blocks, as it were. But he also is incorporated in this next one. Yes, the winning car number. Somebody had brought it up earlier. The under or the even makes sense. Yes, it does. But so does the under 12.5 in this one. I like the even. I thought about the even, but I do like the under 12.5 on this one. I will say to back up the even one. In fact, that may be an official play before the end of it. But if you look back at the next gen era, only one car has been outside of the even number metric, and that was Ross Chastain in the fall of 2023. It was Briscoe in the 14 in 2022, then Logano, then Byron, then Chastain, then Bell, then Logano, then Bell, and then Blaney. So that is actually a pretty fun little statistic going there. But yeah, I like Ryan Blaney so much that, I mean, I'm going to triple up pretty much on his win. Under 12.5, but that also gives you Ross Chastain, who we talked about being pretty good at this particular track. It gives you Kyle Larson, who does have the second best average finish on this track, 3rd in the last 2 races last year, 4th before that, 14th in the spring of 2024, but before that, 3rd and 4th as well. Ross Chastain is also in that mix. Denny Hamlin is 5th in terms of all-time average finish on this track, runner-up in the spring race here. So it gives you a lot of coverage on a lot of good drivers if you so choose to back them up as well. You know, and for me, the under 12.5 just really incorporates the one driver that I really, 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 really like. And JDK is saying, yes, Blaney, Hamlin, Elliott, Chastain, and Larson, which, like I said, all those names just pretty much populate the top of the track when it comes to average finish. And then, of course, if you look at the win percentage in terms of who's incorporated in that, Blaney is at the top of that. Hamlin is a little farther down. Kyle Larson's right around there as well. Hamlin is the 4th name on the list in terms of the percentage of winners in the simulations on Win the Race. So, like I said, I mean, I like even. In fact, I'll put even. Somebody find me the odds for even. I'm going to add that as well to the official card. But winning car number even, and then under 12.5, you can get that at plus 105 over on Caesars.
There you go. Yeah, this is an amazing group of guys you're getting, obviously. The Blaney, the Hamlin. I mean, those 2 guys, big hitters. Larson's been good here, as I talked about. You also get Chase Elliott in there. You get previous winners in Ross Chastain. Kyle Busch is in there if you care. Ty Dillon is included in that group, Rod. So a really solid group you have under 12.5 number there.
Indeed. All right. You've got something coming up for us, Cody, and it's the graphic is ready. Hit it, my friend.
That's right. Welcome to Cody's Car Lift. Of course, last week, this one hit with one Tyler Reddick taking us home. It was a beautiful, beautiful time. So this week, we're going to go with the guy that I am most confident in. And last week, wasn't even the guy I was most confident in, obviously. But this week, played around with a couple different car lists, but this is the one I wanted to take, and it's Christopher Bell. Marcus, this car lift dedicated to you, my friend. I love Christopher Bell this weekend. I've been looking forward to betting him. I could not wait to bet him, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So the car lift for him, the top 10, obviously unplayable. It's too big of a number because he is one of the favorites here, but going to take his top 5 at -110. You can get that over at DraftKings. So that'll be the first level. I feel like that's a great bet, right? It covers you top 5. If Larson goes out and wins, if it's Blaney, if it's Hamlin's day, if it's Briscoe's day, if it's Elliott's day, if it's Ty Dillon's day, I think Bell's going to be in the top 5 at the end of the day. So I love that. You're getting a great number there. Top Toyota plus 225. I think this is solid. Toyota is tough. I will tell you that. There's a lot of Toyotas I like this week, which I'll get to more in a minute. But plus 225, I'll take the number. 7-1 to win over on FanDuel. That's the best number I saw out there. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to add a little extra, I don't know, an extra step, I guess, to the car lift here, an extra thing that'll really just send you over the top. And that is over on Caesars. They have the team triple bets. And I like this one, actually, a lot. So you can get Christopher Bell to win the race, which I think is going to happen. I've got him at 7-1, of course. So he wins the race. Denny Hamlin to finish top 5. Hamlin's been great at this track, so you get that. And then you get little Tyrone Gibbs in there for a top 10. That's obviously the little bit of a harder leg to get through, but could get it done. But you get him top 10 at 35-1. So if all 3 of those hit, 35-1 is the number you're getting over on Caesar. So, I really like that one. As far as Christopher Bell goes, he's been amazing here, and in particular, been really good here in the spring race. Last spring, led 105 laps, won the race. 2024, led 50 laps, won the race. The November race, if you want to see the fall as well, of 2024, he led 143 laps, finished in 5th place that day, but still you catch that first leg of the car lift there. He's won 2 of the last 4 at New Hampshire, led 149 laps in one of those races in 2024. Gateway in 2024, he led 80 laps. He won both stages, swept it there. I think that was a race, I can't remember. I think he ran out of fuel. Either him or Blaney ran out of fuel. The other one, I think, had a tire issue. Maybe they both ran out of fuel. That was been a while, but him and Blaney were dominant in that race, and then it got taken away from him late. 4th place in Iowa in 2024. He led 122 laps at Richmond in 2024 with a 4th place finish. Win the race again. The tools over there are amazing. They're great. You can filter out just the spring race. So I wanted to see just Phoenix spring race. Take out that championship race, kind of the outliers and stuff that come in with that, and put just the spring race. So if you do that, he's got the best driver rating in the spring. 111 was the rating there, which is a good rating. Second best in true performance, 82.66. It's been, and then if you can also filter in all of the tracks, right? So I did the 5: Phoenix, Richmond, Iowa, Gateway, and New Hampshire. So I put all those together. He's got the second best driver rating, second best true performance. Of course, Ryan Blaney, who we talked about earlier, but he's been extremely good on all of these short flat tracks. And he's been really good here. And specifically, he's won the last 2 spring races. So I absolutely love Christopher Bell this weekend. He is the car lift. We start with the top 5 at -110, top Toyota at plus 225 to win the race at 7-1. And then, of course, we're going to toss in that one at 35-1. He wins. Denny top 5, Gibbs top 10, 35-1. And cousin Danny, obviously I would have taken Briscoe instead of Gibbs if he was on there, but he wasn't. So they've got a couple different variations. Like if you want a Gibbs top 5, there's one that's like 65-1 where Denny just has to be top 10. This was the one I liked the best. So
Laura wants to know, how about a top 3 at plus 190 for Bell?
We're talking. I'll take it, Laura. Top 3 plus 190. We can add that to the car lift.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it to win, you might as well take every single run up along the way. So, all right. I'm going to, like I said, triple up on my belief that Ryan Blaney will win this race by taking Penske as the team winner at plus 350 over on Hard Rock. Although I did read to you the winners of the previous races, and Ryan Blaney was one from last year. The fall of 2024, Joey Logano won that race. Joey Logano won in 2022 as well. So we've got 3 Penske wins over the last few years. And I'm so sold on Ryan Blaney that I'm 1,000% sure that he is going to end up winning this race. But if Joey Logano accidentally does it, then we're good to go. But again, Ryan Blaney, 21.9, the highest percentage of winning races in that 100,000 simulation. Talk about true performance, 83.24, a 114 driver rating on this track is exactly what I want to see, right? This is in the next gen era, a 114 driver rating. That just tells me everything. That tells me he's fast. It tells me he does everything right. It tells me he's finished well enough to be in consideration. First, 28th, second, fifth, second, fourth. Literally just a slew of second place finishes. He's the Sheldon Creed of this track, but he was the last person to win on this track. The best average finish overall at 5.8 in the next gen era. It's just hard to not consider Ryan Blaney for the win here, considering that he's been in the top 5 in all but one of the next gen era races. And he's consistent, right? I know that we've said before, past performance doesn't always dictate future performance, but it's hard to ignore when a guy has gone on a streak like this, especially 3 straight second place finishes. It's just, he punched through for the win last year in the fall, but he's been running so well. He ran so well last week. He ran well in the 2 super speedway races, even though the finishes may not have been exactly what he wanted. But yeah, for me, this is Blaney's race. So I'm 100% on Team Penske, and I kind of made my case for the outright, but I'll just reiterate that when we get there.
Yeah, it's I'm going a different direction, but when it comes to the favorites, you look at them and it's either Bell or Blaney for me. It's you pick one of those 2 guys. Maybe you take both if you want to work it out however you do your stuff. But the Larsons, the Hamlins, just less interested in those guys. Bell and Blaney are the 2 guys at the top of my board. Like those are the 2 first guys I'm going to be using for fantasy games this week, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, those are definitely the guys that I like. Outrights, Rod. Obviously, I gave you Christopher Bell at 7-1. He's the favorite that I like. You take insurance plays because sometimes the longer shots are the ones that come through, Rod. So I'm actually going to add Toyota as the winning manufacturer here at plus 190, rather. I wish it was plus 3 something. Plus 190 over on Bet 365. I love the coverage this gives you. You get Christopher Bell, who I just made the case for. You get Tyler Reddick, who's won 3 races in a row, and I made the case has been pretty good. You get Chase Briscoe. Let's not sleep on him or forget about him. You get Denny Hamlin, who's looking for revenge from the fall race, right? He loses the championship in that race at this track. You get all of those guys. Ty Gibbs, maybe the outside chance he could get it done. Bubba Wallace, probably not, but you don't mind having him in there as well. So you get a good, solid core of guys, but specifically you get Bell, you get Hamlin, you get Briscoe. You get Reddick. You love having all of those guys. So going to play the Toyota to kind of blanket everything, cover those guys at plus 190. Already gave you the Bell, of course, at 7-1. Then Tyler Reddick, 18-1 over on BetMGM. This number is just way too big for a guy who's been as good as he's been here in the spring and has all of the momentum in the world. Well, he couldn't possibly win 4 races in a row, could he, Rod? Well, nobody had ever won the first 3 to start the season. Why couldn't he win another one? If you want to put on your tinfoil hat, maybe the agreement was he had to win 4 races. Maybe it was 5 or 6. Who knows? Maybe he wins all 36. You never know, Rod. But second place to Bell in the spring here last year in driver rating. As I mentioned earlier, had a great race. Didn't end up getting the finish, but was good. Going through and looking. Let's see. I talked about some of this stuff already, so I'm not going to reiterate everything. But you go back and you look, the 20th place last spring, but the 2nd and 5th in the stages. 6th here in November of 24. So he had a good run when he was in the championship for that race. 10th here in March of 24 was a decent run. 3rd here in March of 23. So 2 of the last 3 spring races, he's been inside the top 3. You're going to win 18-1 off of 3 straight wins. So yeah. And actually in 2022, in the 8 car for RCR, he finished 3rd place here then too. So in 22, he finished 3rd. In 23, he finished 3rd. And in 25, he finished in 2nd in the spring races. I don't know how you wouldn't want to have something on this guy. Number 1 in total speed rank according to iFantasy Race here at Phoenix. Sixth place or better in 2 of the last 3 at New Hampshire. He led 53 laps there in 2024. Third place at Richmond as well. So while we don't really consider him a short track guy as much, he's got some short flat performance that he's done well on. This number's way back again with Tyler Reddick at 18-1. So we're going to do that. Chase Briscoe at 20-1. Somebody said it earlier in the chat. They're just not giving him any respect. They kept doing this last year. No respect. We kept hammering him. We kept cashing tickets on him. And we're going to keep doing it again this week. I don't mind taking a look at his top 5 as well if you want something like that. But you go back and you look here. So win the race, you can filter out things by their car number, right? So in the 14 car, he had a 10.202 average running position in the spring races here. 6th place in driver rating at 98.97. 5th in true performance in the spring at 79.8%. 6th in top 10 running percentage, running in the top 10 66% of the time in a much worse car at SHR. 9th place here in the spring of 2020. So last spring, throwing it out, right? Still getting used to these cars. First oval in this car that he didn't know how to drive because it was so fast. But before that, 9th in the spring of 24, 7th in 23. Oh, and he won here for SHR in 2022. New Hampshire. So last year, we get farther on to the season. He gets comfortable. 2nd place in New Hampshire. That was 2024, I guess. But 2nd place at Iowa last year. We led 81 laps. 2nd place at Gateway last year as well. And then if you go back, and so I was looking at all the numbers for win the race through all the tracks combined, right? And yes, Ryan Blaney was at the top. Tyler Reddick was up there. Martin Truex Jr.'s name kept popping up in this 19 car. James Small knows how to set this car up for this type of race. It's insane to me you're getting a guy this good on short flats, even when he was with SHR. How many times did we bet his top 5 at Phoenix and cash? Like, he's that type of guy. Now you put him in the one car that's even better at these types of tracks at 20-1. The number is insane. And then it's 60-1, Rod. The long shot. Tyrone. That's right. This time it is Tyrone Gibbs. 60-1. The top 3 running position in the spring, 16.45% of the time he has run in the top 3. That's pretty solid. March of 2024, he led 57 laps here and finished in 3rd place. He's within a couple of spots, getting it done just 2 years ago. A 9th place at Richmond in 23, 10th and 11th place at Gateway in the last 2 races. Yes, it's not all super flashy, but I expect these Gibbs cars to be extremely good here. Honestly, I think all 4 of them are going to be amazing. We didn't really talk about Denny much other than throwing him in that parlay, but he should be really good here. I love Bell. I love Briscoe. Gibbs should be good as well. And if they can just hit it right, it's in there, friends. I'm telling you. And it's not, I'm not telling you about him at 15-1. It's 60-1. It's coming eventually. We all know the talent is there. Holy shit, Chase Briscoe is plus 100 for a top 10. I am officially adding that to the card. That is an insane. That must be on Bet365, I'm sure. Insane number. So, Toyota plus 190, Reddick 18-1, Briscoe 20-1, Gibbs 60-1. For me, Rod.
Yeah, it certainly is.
I just realized.
I was like, that's Toyotas, and you're taking Toyota manufacturer. So I mean, it's a lot like me taking Penske, but Tyrone Gibbs is a driver for the Penske. Thoughts on Connor Zilic? Not this week.
Why not, Rod? He's the next coming.
Yeah, but he still hasn't gotten used to anything in the Cup car yet. So I mean, look, his time will come, Laura. We know this. We are 100% on board with Connor Zilic, but unfortunately,
I think top 20 is a good day for Zilic this week.
I think so too. All right. I already said it before. Taking Blaney. This is at plus 600 over on FanDuel to win this race. I already laid out all the stats for him. When a guy is pulling 20% win percentage in the 100,000 race simulation for win the race, I'm going to go heavy on that because I feel like, for Ryan Blaney, he's going to do it again. He's going to go back to back on this one. And I'm 100% sold on Ryan Blaney. You don't need to give you all of the stats again. So Ryan Blaney to win the race. So, all right. No graphic this week. Get out your pen and paper.
Oh, there is, Rod. Graphics are in there.
Finished it. Look at that.
Real quick, JGR plus 210 is winning team. But yeah, why wouldn't you just take Toyota at plus 190 and get Tyler Reddick as well. It's 20 cents less for including Tyler Reddick. I would much rather have the Toyota over just the Gibbs.
Indeed. All right. Well, then get out your pen and paper. And for those of you who are on YouTube, the graphic is available. We're going to go over our bets for the Straight Talk Wireless 500 from the Phoenix Raceway. I started you off with Kyle Busch over Brad Keselowski at plus 100. Gave you Ross Chastain as a top 10 car at plus 140. And then I gave you William Byron as a top 5 car at plus 150. Winning car number under 12.5 at plus 105. And then, of course, I tossed on the even as well at plus 110 over on Bet365. Taking the winning team as Penske at plus 350 and that winning car as Ryan Blaney at 6-1. Cody gave you Bubba Wallace over Alex Bowman at minus 115. Tossed in Tyler Reddick over Kyle Larson at plus 125. Gave you Chris Buescher as a top 10 car at plus 135. Ryan Preece as the top 10 car at plus 400. Gave you Zane Smith top 10 at 10-1. Ty Dillon top 10 at 18-1. Carson Hocevar top Chevy 14-1. Blaney top Ford plus 115. Preece top Ford at 25-1. Riding the bell car lift this week, top 5 minus 110. Top Toyota plus 225. The winner of the race at 7-1. Also that top 3 as well. I think this plus 160, Laura said. And then Bell with Hamlin. Bell to win, Hamlin top 5, and then Gibbs top 10 at 35-1 over there on Caesars. He gave you Toyota in the outright market at plus 190, Reddick at 18-1, Briscoe at 20-1, and then Gibbs at 60-1. Also, we just added the bonus top 10 of Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe top 10 plus 100 over on Bet365.
Yeah, that's this week's Tyler Reddick minus 120 top 10 last week. That was never even close to not hitting for me. That's Chase Briscoe. Again, car troubles last week. Shit happens, right? It didn't work out for us with Buescher last week. Don't forget, this is gambling. There's risks, right? And that's why if it was that easy, but Briscoe is going to be a top 10 car if he's out there running the whole race. I love that bet. So great call, JDK.
Indeed. All right. That'll do it for Phoenix, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to all of you who have stuck through all of the technical difficulties on YouTube. And for those of you who suffered through a lot of the stuff, literally today must not have been my day, but we did get the show out. We did get to talk NASCAR with you guys, which has made my day 1,000 times better. So thank you all for hanging with us the entire time. And as always, to Cody for being the light at the end of the tunnel sometimes.
Well, I'm glad somebody thinks that, Rod.
Hey, if we can't be here for each other, who can be here for, right?
That's right. Exactly. Well, yes. Shout out to everybody. We appreciate it. Fun time. We're going to be back tomorrow. O'Reilly series and some F1 picks as well as they return this weekend. So looking forward to that. We'll wrap it up Thursday. DFS talk for the Cup Series and IndyCar picks. IndyCar is going to be here at Phoenix as well. That's going to be an exciting race to talk about. They haven't been at Phoenix. I feel like they've been there before, but it's been quite some time. So, looking forward to that. Absolutely love it. Shout out to everybody in the chat, keeping things busy. We see all of you. We appreciate all of you. We love it. All right, Rod, follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You'll find all my stuff over there. Tons and tons of content outside of NASCAR, college basketball, arena football, all kinds of fun stuff over there. Follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling. And, like, subscribe, click the bell, all the fun things the kids say. See you guys tomorrow.
Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Pretty much crickets over there lately. I don't know. Between all the stuff that's going on, I just don't post nearly enough. But you can still follow me there. And every once in a while, you can see something, wave at me, poke at me, ask me questions, and I'll respond to that. But, we'll see you guys all tomorrow with more of our fun show. So until then, join us on our never-ending quest to make NASCAR betting fun again. Let's go racing and let it ride.